I want to complete, not compete. I just wanted to finish. So I thought there were times where I feel like I should be pushing harder, but I don't want to fall into that trap. And then I push too hard and then I've lost everything. So I really feel, rookie mistake. Next time I must make sure my watch is totally switched off, because I think that would have made a difference to me anyway in the race. Knowing my heart
Yeah,
rate, knowing my zone. I don't
rookie
know.
mistakes are acceptable because you are a rookie at the end of the day,
Yeah,
But also, I
exactly.
think I've said to you beforehand as well, and it's just something that I guess comes from experience. I always break the runs up into like thirds. So I
Yeah.
always think the first third, the first 7-ish kilometers of the run, I always feel like shit. I feel better than I
Mm,
expected to feel. And when I look at my time, I'm thinking, shit, I'm actually running fairly quickly here. And I
yeah.
almost have to force myself to slow down a bit, but I'm feeling good. And then I always find it's the second third, the 7
Yeah.
to 14K mark, that it just absolutely hammers me. And then I slowly build strength again. And then the last 2-3Ks, I find I'm on
Mm,
it again. But that is the discipline. And again, it comes back to your training. Hey, just remember what the coach said. Just remember,
mm,
I've got a long way. It's just dealing with what's in front of you right away.
mm.
And actually, the run in Busso is a fantastic run. Again, it's quite flat, and it
Yeah.
was 3 laps, wasn't it?
7,
3 laps.
14. Yeah, it was 3.
I think it was three
No, no,
laps.
2. It was 2.
And we had a pretty good spot where the kids and all our supporters had set up a little tent marquee
Yeah.
thing on the beachfront there. So it was quite cool to run past them the 5 or 6 times before the finish line. And I think I'd finished by then, and I think I saw you run
Yeah.
past 3 or 4 times. And the first
Yeah.
few times you came past, and it's fantastic because that whole promenade is just packed with people. They've been
It
drinking
is.
beer all day, and they've got nothing but good cheering to do. And you think, why does everyone know my name, right?
That's
You
right. Yeah,
forget the
go
names on the
Brenda. And
front.
I was looking around
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, but it's
And
here. Hang
they
on.
always see your little South Africa flag as well, and then they go with
Check.
all the South Africa banter. There we go, fantastic. Yeah,
That's what, and
amazing
then I was
momentum.
like,
I've got a
oh,
whole
they're
box
reading my
full of those.
name. Yeah.
But it
I've
was
got,
quite
I'm
lekker, and I
making note
remember
of
you
it.
coming through, and I could see you were being lifted by the experience,
Mm, mm.
um,
Because you need it
because
at
they
that
do.
time.
I
You
mean,
need it.
tell it from your perspective that
Well, like I said,
getting on the run and getting going, and then just the crowds.
yeah, there's a couple of places where you are on your own and there's not much, there's people outside their homes and cheering you on, and the spectators, but there's some places where it's quite lonely and you're running and it's hot and you start getting into your own mind and stuff. But along the way, you sort of end up running with the same people. You might overtake them, then they overtake, and then when you start to walk, they're like, "Come on, Brenda, you've got this," and then, "Come on, you got this." And guy I did it with was he was his first time as well, and we were sort of similar times. So if he felt like walking, I'd say, come on. And then, it was just so good. We were encouraging each other along the way. And, I enjoyed the run. Um, I think I struggled more in the run than I wanted to. I think I was quite
Yeah,
confident going in that I was going to do a faster time, but I didn't. And look, it is what it is. That's how it happens. But what I
yeah,
enjoyed about the run is there's like little people can get chalk and they can write little messages for you on the run. And I belong to the Rockingham Tri Club. And coming around the back, where I said it's the lonely strip where there's no one really there, you're just on your own, you're in your own thought, and you're waiting for the next aid station. And there was a little thing there for myself and another lady who was doing it for her first time. She's 50 and I was in the 55 category. And it's like, go Brenda, go Nikki, you've got this. RTC, which is Rockingham Tri Club. That was so encouraging. I thought, yeah, there's people out here supporting me. And even with those along the promenade, we had the Rockingham Tri Club had a tent there with all the guys and they're all cheering on and that. So it was really nice. And from that, and there are times where you can't, but when you see the crowd, it lifts you and you think, yes, see, I'm going to come, and
yeah.
off you go. But I thought the run was good and I thought I handled it quite well. It was the last 3 kilometers felt
Yeah, you know
like
what? I'll
forever.
stop you there because it's what happens to a lot of people. It's interesting also, you talk about the 50K mark on the bike. I find that's the mark when I start struggling. And when you do the full distance Ironman race,
Mm,
when I say struggling, that's when you start feeling the aches and pains. And that's when
yeah.
the mindset comes in. And I say to people, it's more mindset than anything. The fitness and the training will only take you so far. But when your butt starts hurting at 50 Ks and you still got another 140 to go, not
Mm.
just 40 to go,
Yeah.
it's a huge difference. But that's when your mindset comes in and you go, okay. And I think that's the realization once you get onto the run, you think, shit, I've actually gone quite far today. I've swum almost 2 Ks. I've run through the transition. I've just done 90 Ks on the bike. And now I'm going to run a half marathon. And then it
Mm.
dawns upon you, actually, this shit's quite hard. You know,
Yeah.
now it's mindset. And I think a lot of people also feel disappointed. I struggled all these years. It's still my downfall. I'm getting better at the run, but it's
Mm.
having enough left in the run as opposed to you can't run. You know what I mean? And I thought you managed your run really, really, really well. And it was classic because you looked pretty good each time. And I think you do what I do and everyone else does. When you hit the lonely stretches, that's where you look around, no one's checking, and you walk for a bit. That's why I take my
Oh, God.
walk and have my drinks. And then
Yeah.
you come back as a shit. This is a really long stretch with crowds. It's like almost 2 Ks, non-stop
Mm.
people. I can't walk here. And then I punish myself through all the crowds until they're well behind me before I take another walk again.
And you go
And it's
behind
just
a tree and you're like, phew, you
yeah,
just take a breather.
it's not just a pride thing, but it does. It drives you. It gets you
It
going. Eh?
does. Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. But I know that because there was a bit of banter and everyone cheering you on every time you came past. That last time you came past, you were shot and you had 3 Ks because you had to go up, turn around, and come back past us once more.
It was never
And
ending. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much further I had to go. Yet we do 3, 5, 7, 10K training sessions, and you're like, oh, I'm finished that. But that last 3Ks, I had to really dig deep. I had to go to a deep place there, man. I mean, I knew I was
you
always
were
going to
very
finish
rude to
it.
us because we were all like, yeah, yeah. And we got this sort of like, fuck you look, you know, we're like, okay, she's
I think
struggling,
I
but
was
she'll
just
come
so
in.
mentally focused. I was just focused on what I had to do. I was still looking, eating my gels and just getting through and just doing whatever I could. I said I didn't want to walk, but I
Yeah,
ended
no,
up
man, listen,
walking. Oh,
you coped really well. So, like, what do you think? What do you think got you? I don't want to say the last 3 Ks, but it wasn't the last 3 Ks. It was the last maybe 2.8 Ks or 2.5 because that last 3, 4, 500 meters, all of a sudden, did you feel like
yeah,
you had everything you needed?
yes, yeah, absolutely. You feel,
It was like you,
you know,
you felt
you,
you could
you can
probably have done
actually hear
another
the
10
other
Ks.
people ringing, pardon?
It feels like you could actually do another 10 Ks.
Yeah, like you want to do a victory lap. But the thing is, you can actually, because that last lap, you can hear the people ringing the bell. You can hear the guy saying you're an Ironman, to the other people and stuff, and it just encourages you. And then people say to you, "Come on, you're almost there, Brenda. This is it. One more turn, and you're finished." And it's going to be amazing when you get to the end, and all this sort of stuff. And that does it encourages you. And even the other people that you can see are struggling, and you can see they're hurting like you just that encourages you that and you think, come on, man, let's go. And you go past people and you tap them on the shoulder and you say, come on, we've got this, we're almost there. Shame, I remember saying it to one person, we're almost there, and they're like, no, I've got another lap. I said, oh, but you're halfway there then. I said, oh, I felt quite bad. I
Shit.
was like, God, I'm glad I'm not you. I'm not going
Isn't it
again.
soul destroying, eh? When you know you're doing those laps and you've done one and guys are flying past you in their last lap and they turn in to the
Yeah,
finish line and you're like, shit, I've got another lap to go. But when it's you turning in, you
yeah.
feel for those poor bastards and you're like, "Fuck, well, you know,
Listen, I
or
tell
you're
you,
finishing your
it's
run
a
and
great,
people are just getting off the bike. It's
yes.
but that in itself, you're like, okay, I'm ahead of that lot. So I've done okay. You know, you don't you
When
just
I
don't
was
doubt
running,
yourself.
that lonely place, sort of you come out the run and you go to down and you actually can see the bikes. I saw people on their bikes. I was like, oh, you suckers. I said, I'm running. You've still got to ride. You've got another 90
The
Ks to
competitive
go.
savage comes out.
Yeah,
So, man, I tell you
exactly.
what, hey, that I tell you,
Oh,
I get goosebumps thinking about it
yeah.
now. I was so glad that I was one able to finish ahead of you, but with enough time
Oh,
to be
not
able to come
easy.
and see you through the finish line.
Yeah.
And when you came around that corner and you rang that bell, man, the whole everyone
Us-
just erupted. Our whole family. You ran down there with the South Africa flag draped over your shoulders. How did that feel, man?
Man, it felt unbelievable. It felt like magic. Like it didn't even feel like I'd just done what I'd done because it was just so like it was over. Like I
You
sort of said
floated down the
to
red carpet.
Yeah. No, I said it feels like, when you on your wedding day, you're present, but you're not. It's happening to someone else. It's not actually happening to you, and
Yeah.
then I crossed, and I think for me, I had in my mind, I had what I wanted to achieve. A time, it's not the fastest time in the world, but it was my time that I wanted to get. And I remember running and looking up at the computer, the times, and it said 7:29. I was like, what? I was expecting an 8 up there because I didn't think that I'd do it. And I could not believe that I'd broken, because my time that I set for myself was 7.5 hours. And I think in the back of my mind, I was hoping to get under 8. That's all I wanted. But when I saw 729, to me, that was just another win. I mean, I've had a lot of wins along the way, but that to me was just a big, big win. And I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't have been prouder. And to have all of you there, I mean, I had signs like this, flashed at me the whole time, like, go Brenda, babe. That's from Tim. And then the girls, you know, this one's for you as well, go
Yeah.
mom and Rob, all the bling on the side, and all that stuff is so encouraging, and
Yeah.
this
Yeah, I mean, you know
stuff.
what? It's surreal when you come down that finish line and you realize that all the hard work's paid off, all
Yeah.
the doubt, and it's so elevating, man. It really is.